PK in the universe, and today I'm here to talk about, do you guys need a bunch of games in your background? This is something that doesn't get talked about nearly enough. So many people make YouTube videos, and a lot of those YouTubers have a bunch of games in their backgrounds. They'll have like huge walls of games. They'll have just bookshelf after bookshelf of games, and it surrounds them, and it's a spectacle in itself. And it's understandable why people do it. A lot of people do this. They see so many big YouTubers, they see the really big guys have these huge stacks of games behind them, and they're like, well, they're doing that and they're successful, so I should do that so I can be successful. It's completely logical and rational that people would do that. But do people actually need that? And that's a great question. I understand another reason people probably do it is because, well, they think it makes them look legitimate. Like, if they have a bunch of games in their background, they must know what they're talking about. Which makes sense, honestly, because you'd think if you have a lot of games, you must know what you're talking about. But the truth is, there's a lot of people who have lots of games in their background, and they couldn't tell you a thing about some of those games they have. And there's some they could probably tell you an encyclopedia's worth of information about. I don't personally think having a bunch of games makes you legitimate. I just don't, honestly. If you have more games than you could ever possibly enjoy, then all that tells me is that you have a lot of games, and which is fine. You know, people collect. A lot of people are into the collecting scene, and I think that's a thing. Is some people are collectors, some people are gamers, and some people are a hybrid of collecting and gaming. And I think a lot of those people get mixed up as being the same thing when they're not actually the same thing. Though some of them are the same thing, which is really complicated in itself. Here's why I stopped doing it. Why I stopped having a giant background. One, I always have a problem with lighting when I stand up. And in this basement, you got these, metal vents everywhere, and it just looks like crap, honestly. And two, I've moved parts of my game room. But the main reason I think is the most important reason is it's never really done anything for me. It's never gotten me more subscribers. It's never gotten me more views. It's never given me more credibility because I have a bunch of games in my background. It's never done any of those things. You should ask your viewers. It's like, did you ever subscribe to me because I had a bunch of games in my background? Nobody's going to ask their viewers that, but it's an interesting question. Did anybody ever subscribe to me because of that? I don't think they did, honestly. I think they subscribed to me because maybe they thought what I said was interesting and I wasn't too boring, though I can be kind of boring and can draw on. But for me personally, I also think about YouTubers who watch me, or people who are thinking about starting a YouTube channel who watch me. They might see a bunch of games in their background and think, well, shoot, I got to have all those games or I can't talk about video games. In fact, I'll show you some pictures of my games just on shelves of games just for fun in this video. I'll cut to a scene or whatever. But anyways, yeah, those are some of my games. Cool. That doesn't make me a real gamer or anything. It just means I have games, which a lot of people have games. Yeah, I think if you're a collector and you're just a collector channel, yeah, it makes kind of sense to have a lot of games in the background. But if you're just a person who wants to talk passionately about video games, no, you don't need a whole bunch of games in your background for people to take you seriously. You don't need that, honestly. Because at the end of the day, people want to hear what you have to say, because there are things that only you can say, only a perspective that you can give. Good example, everybody has gaming memories. A good memory of mine is playing the game Andretti Racing, which was on PlayStation 1. And a good friend of mine had that game, my friend Andy, and my other friend Shane, and we used to play that game together all the time. We'd take turns because it was only a two-player game. And I remember racing Shane one time, and we were on the last corner of the last lap, and I knocked him into the pits and won the race. And I remember that. That was just a moment that just, sticks out to me as one of my favorite experiences playing a racing game, was that moment. And only I can tell that story, and most of you guys have stories just like that that only you can tell. I don't think you need a whole bunch of games in your background to feel special or to be valid. Your opinion is valid. Don't be afraid to start a YouTube channel just because you don't have a huge stack of games to show in the background. Make the content you want to make and have fun with it. There's some people who do stupid running vlogs on them. No, I'm just kidding, Spash JT. But anyways, yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what you do. It just matters that you go out there and try. Because you know what? There's only, 20 million YouTubers out there? 30 million? I don't know how many YouTubers are out there. Guess what? There's 7 billion people on this planet. And most of them don't have the guts to go make a YouTube video, or in a terrible situation where they can't, and I'm sorry to those people. But here nor there, you guys get my point. Anyways, What are your thoughts? Do you feel like you need a giant wall of games to feel special? Do you feel like you need a giant wall of games to be taken seriously as a gamer who makes YouTube content? Comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay awesome in this universe. Thanks. Bye.